Hello, good people. Welcome to day 23. Yes. Clap, clap, clap. Shoot, listen, let me tell you something. Besides me being happy that it's Monday, child, I'm all right with Mondays. I'm not angry about Mondays. I'm just happy that the girl has been consistent enough to get here on the 23rd day. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? I'm just excited about that. We're going to take the excitement in small baby steps because being committed and showing up every day on YouTube, it's work. It's work. And so shout out to everyone else whose channels I support in various situations and showing love and all of those things. But I'm making this about showing up for ourselves, showing up for things that we believe in, showing up for our children, right? Because that's the ultimate people that we believe in, or at least I hope we believe in, right? But if you are here, that means you're an architect or your architect mindset. So I know you love your babies, okay? So if you saw the thumbnail, you might know who that is. You might know just who that is. If you don't, it's okay because you are going to learn today. All right. And let me jump straight in. Some leaders, because that man is a leader, some leaders command rooms, some leaders command armies, but the rarest leaders, they command trust. Welcome back to the Literacy Reset 30 Days of Raising Architects. Today, we reset diplomatic intelligence because in a complex world, the ability to negotiate peace, okay? Look at everything that's happening in our world right now. The ability to negotiate peace is more powerful than the ability to win conflict. And diplomacy is built on literacy. Get us here, making sure that you can see so I can see, and we both on the same page. This man that I'm going to share with you today is Kofi Annan. Kofi Annan was born in Ghana and educated in economics and international relations, like me. The international relations part, not economics, child. He rose through the ranks of the United Nations to become Secretary General in 1997. His job? Navigate global crisis, balance competing national interests, address war, poverty, and humanitarian emergencies. In 2001, he and the United Nations were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Why? Because diplomacy requires more than charisma. It requires careful language, cultural awareness, systems thinking, measured communication. Annan understood something profound. Words can escalate conflict or they can de escalate it. One phrase, one misinterpretation, excuse me, one poorly framed statement, global consequences. That level of responsibility requires disciplined literacy. Hmm. I want to get to the point of, again, me sharing a little bit about my background, right? So I did not jump into education being an educator in the sense I went in basically as a political analyst, right? That was my background. I was already degreed in. However, I've been working with children since I was 14 years old, like officially. Um, and so I know some people were like, officially, yeah, well, I got my first job at 15, just for those who want to know, right? Trying to fact check somebody, child. But I started with volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club, and I had my two little brothers at the time, and you were not allowed to bring children into the Boys and Girls Club who were not at 6 years old. But I was like, but I have them and I can help. And so they loved on me and I loved them for it, because that really was my gateway into working with children. I just didn't know it back then that I would be doing it X amount of years later, for real, for real. However, though, my walkway into education, my walkway to experience with kids was in that moment I just described. My moment in education, though, was during my time of learning at the UN. And I always tell people this: there would be no reading for smiles if I never went to study there. I know that for a fact. And that was because of the Millennium Development Goals that were issued at that time. Um, Today it's Millennium Development Goals 2030, but back then it was 20 for the 2015, and there were some years obviously before that, because you have to be able to work out all the systems and all these things. Long story short, it's what put me in the framework of realizing, hey, education is a global issue. Education is something that can be worked upon at the local level. You can make this a reality. You can build something out that really helps families and helps children and close the literacy gap. And so, if this is the first time coming to the channel and you don't know me and you don't know what this is about, this is me. And that's what this is about. This was a girl having a vision about ending poverty, ending obstacles, or ending the barriers that were stopping children from reaching their full potential, but through the literacy lane, and having an impact on something that could go global. And now, because of the way the internet is and all these things, yeah, technically I can be global right now. But I brought everything back home to Queens, New York, and started from there. Very humble beginnings and very proud of those things, because I have worked with hundreds of families, okay? Hundreds of children over the years. Not 10, not 100, not even 200, hundreds over the years. And so, if it wasn't for that time, and I was actually studying while Kofi was president um, of the UN space at that time, it just all kind of resonates and connects. And so, I look at it as saying, how are we preparing our children for their future? Right now, with social media, we really do live in a global world. We have a global society. And right now, we have an issue that is about to become a global crisis if the leaders don't come together and resonate some deals. And so, when I think of that, I think of how perfect and time fitting. I knew I was going to do Kofi Annan. I did not know that the world would be in the state of what it is and that Kofi Annan would land on this date at this point in time. But it's just, for me, alignment, and pulling me back into full broad purpose of what do I do this for, who do I do it for, and why I love doing it. And so, with that, today's principle is about diplomatic intelligence is engineered through advanced literacy. I'm going to say that again. Diplomatic intelligence is engineered through advanced literacy. I never want us to move the needle away from a foundational point. And so Kofi Annan read deeply across cultures. He studied history, economics, and political systems. He had to interpret treaties, analyze policy, draft resolutions, negotiate language acceptable to dozens of nations. Diplomacy is precision writing. It's perspective taking at a scale, and literacy builds nuanced vocabulary, emotional regulation in communication, cultural sensitivity, critical listening, and strategic framing. A child who reads globally learns that the world is bigger than their own lens. A child who writes persuasively learns how to present ideas without alienating others. A child who debates respectfully learns structured disagreement. That is diplomatic preparation. Anand once said, "You are never too young to lead, and you should never doubt your capacity to triumph where others have not." I'm going to say that again. You are never too young to lead, and you should never doubt your capacity to triumph where others have not. Just because someone else hasn't done it does not mean that it can't be done or that you can't be the person to do it. And I love that because I think that is something we should embrace, but also teach our children the same. And so notice the tone. It's firm but unifying. Diplomatic intelligence does not seek domination, it seeks alignment. In a world of social media reactions and impulsive commentary, because we're seeing it all the time, things are measured in communication is actually rare. When children learn to revise drafts, clarify arguments, consider the audience, anticipate counter arguments, they are practicing diplomacy before they ever even hold office. These are skills that will benefit them not only today, but definitely within adulthood. Within adulthood, there takes a certain amount of patience, resonance, and self regulation, self discipline to be able to anchor certain skills. And those skills are skills, but they feed into other things that can make or break us. And honey, I know I'm all for a good lesson, but hey, if you can learn from things prior to them happening, then hey, why not? Hmm. And so I want to get into how can we actually adapt this into our homeschools. Again, I never want to leave anybody out. Our traditional schools, literacy centers, after school programs, anyone serving the youth. Because this is how we raise children who can maintain and sustain not only themselves, but their families and their communities too. And it does take a village. And so, how do we build diplomatic intelligence at home? Teach audience awareness. Ask, who is this written for? How might they interpret it differently? 2, practice civil debate. Structured debate with clear rules, evidence-based arguments, and respectful rebuttals. You can, if you have children that are siblings, baby, use this. Use this tactic too, right? Let them use this as their foundation on even going through something with a sibling. Analyze international perspectives. When studying global events, ask, how might another country view this same issue? How could they respond? Again, we have so much going on in the world right now. We can pick one. We can pick a cause to actually help our children use these skills. Also, I'm also a big fan of traveling. I'm also a big fan of learning about other countries and cultures, as well as your own, of course. And that's why we have the Tanzania course on the website, and more will be coming. More will be coming. And they get to learn in those courses about different countries, their cultures, the people, the traditions. And I think I just mentioned this recently, either in the last episode or a few episodes before. When we have that understanding of what is someone else's identity and their culture, we can be apathetic to that and empathetic to that. And while we don't have to agree on all things, we can be in a state where we can reason. And so, next would be precision writing. Encourage editing for clarity and tone. Teach children that words carry weight. Architects of peace must master language. Must master language. You are not raising children for a simple world. Nothing is simple right now. Nothing is the same right now. We can all agree things have definitely changed since 2020. Schools have changed since 2020. Our children will navigate global economies, digital communication, multicultural environments, and complex negotiations. They must know how to disagree without division, lead without ego, and speak without escalating. That is diplomatic literacy. Kofi Annan did not shout his influence, he structured it. He had his presence felt. How he carried himself is how he also treated others. Morals can also compound on literacy. I don't want that to fly over anybody else's head either. And so when we introduce our children to different types of environments, that plays a big part as well, right? They should be able to navigate through all types of environments. If we want children who can lead globally, negotiate wisely, communicate responsibly, then literacy must go beyond just reading comprehension. Inside the Offer Us Homeschool Clarity Roadmap, which is coming up very soon, we help families build global reading frameworks, teach structured argumentation, develop persuasive yet principled communication, and train systems level awareness. Because architects don't just design buildings, they design agreements. Architects help the builders be equipped, right? I'm going to design this out. I'm laying this out. This is the framework. This is the map. This is what we're going to do. Once the builders have the map and your children are the builders in this case, then they can understand that there's layers, there's different rooms that carry different things, there's different conversations that's going to take them to different places. And that's not for them to be timid, but that's for them to be confident in who they are and what they will stand for. And literacy helps shape that as well. If what I'm saying connects to you and it is your vibe and I'm your vibe, I invite you to join our school community where intentional parents become educational architects. Because inside the homeschool studio lab, we are not only just looking at how to plan and develop our years, but we're looking at how to plan and develop the content, plan and develop the access, plan and develop uh, the direction of networking and building friends and connecting with other families who are on the same wavelength. Mm. The world is changing and has changed. We're equipping our children for the change. We're not doing outdated things. We're doing things that show historical reference, but also continuity to say, hey, this is where we are in the world today. And how can we make this world better? How can we make our community better? How can we make our family stronger? It's not a conversation for everybody, but it is a conversation for the right ones. And so if you feel like you are part of the right ones, I don't want to say the right ones, but if it's something that fits you, right? Fits your morals, your values, it's you, then join the school community. The link is in the description, of course. And I would love to have you, love to talk about what your dreams and goals are with your family and share minds as well. We're architecting here. Also, like I said, the R4S Homeschool Clarity Roadmap, the first webinar is Wednesday. No, Thursday, the 26th. The 26th. You can register for that in the link below as well. That's also in the description. Come join me. Let's talk. Let me share with you the framework that you can use and apply to any of the curriculums you are seeking. You want to make sure you are super clear about your state requirements and regulations, but also about what you want and the interests of your child. And we're going through those things in the webinar so that once you are set and very clear about that, then you can make your choice about the learning tools that you want to use for your child's journey. Or because I'm also helping parents do that inside the studio. I'm a lover of creating your own content, creating your own slide decks and all that stuff for your children. That's not for everybody, but for those who want to do it or have a topic that they want their child to know, that's not something you can just buy, then yeah, let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. All right. Well, this is the Literacy Reset. And today we reset diplomatic intelligence. I will see you guys in episode 24, which is tomorrow. It's going to go up already. I'm just giving you guys a heads up. It's already pre-recorded, but you will see that it will pop up at the exact same time that I start every day, which is 1:35. All right. So have a wonderful afternoon, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Many parents ask me, what exactly do you do at Reading for Smiles? Let me show you. Our mission at Reading for Smiles is very simple. We help families raise confident readers, writers, and thinkers. We also produce a YouTube series called Literacy Reset, where we explore powerful literacy lessons through the lives of great thinkers, innovators, and leaders. We have a community called the R4S Homeschool Studio, where homeschool parents come together to learn, plan, and support each other. For parents inside the community, you guys can learn through two courses: the Architect Parent, which helps you design homeschool with intention, and the Confident Reader and Writer course, which is a framework for building strong literacy at home. We also offer a homeschool roadmap intensive, where we help parents plan their homeschool year with clarity. And for the babies, of course, we create literacy learning packs, have on demand courses, and I also have ebooks for parents to help them strengthen their homeschools by developing reading, writing, and thinking skills and programs and projects in the house. If you're homeschooling and you want support raising strong readers and thinkers, then definitely come join our community on School. We can't wait to see you and have you there with us.